And here we are. It is April 4th, 12:21 Austin time. And I'm getting ready to do another 30-minute practice. This is the third day in a row that I've done these 30-minute practice sessions and videos, which I have to say is actually the first time that I've practiced this consistently in a while. And one of the things that I'm aware of is that cycles of 3 are really important to establish momentum. So today is the third day, which will be a 3 cycle, and that should move things forward a little bit more. I'm going to practice for a half hour, and what my intention is today is to practice permutations of 4 across these 4 fingers, or the thumb and these fingers. There's 24 permutations of 4. I'm doing that at 68 beats per minute, or I'm going to begin there, and we'll see how things go from there. And I'm doing triplets. So permutations of 4 across 4 strings, but as triplets. So that would be 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That might be a little swift for me. We'll find out. Leading with the first finger. Almost lost it there. Third finger, second finger. Beginning again, second finger. And I'm going to begin again. So I'm really honest with myself. If I am not completing a full cycle of a permutation, go back to the beginning of that permutation It's really important that we are honest with ourselves, and ultimately it's an act of humility to say, I didn't get that. So rather than just keep on moving forward, retrace our steps to work on the parts that are not fully constructed yet. So beginning again, second finger leading. Beginning again, third finger. So that was one full cycle through all the permutations. I am doing 4 times per each permutation. 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Maybe it's 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. It'd actually be 8 times. 8 times until I'm switching. And I'm going to do that again to see if I can do that all cleanly. My goal right now is to move through all 24 permutations without interruption at all. So that's my short-term goal. There we go. Might add some left-hand movement and just to vary it up a little bit. We'll see. I messed up. And again, beginning with the thumb, leading with the thumb. I'm certainly noticing my mind drifting at a couple points, and that continues to be the practice. And interesting enough, one of the things I'm noticing my mind drifting to is reflection on my experiences with Guitar Circle and Robert Fripp, and hearing Robert say multiple times how the mind holds the pattern, the thinking holds the pattern. And I'm just noticing as I'm working through this, holding the pattern is a challenge. So ironic that I'm noticing that, and that's actually distracting the mind from the pattern. But incorporating that, ingesting that observation, and back to the practice. messed up again. I went into a triplet pattern rather than the 4. So back to the first sequence. First finger. Fudge. Yeah. So I'll try it again. So I'm noticing when I go with my first finger, I'm falling into a triplet pattern. And I'm noticing a little bit of trying to share it with the video is creating a distraction. So that's cool. Oh, it looks like the battery is running out. Uno momento. Okay, so I'm noticing a little bit of distraction. Also, what's been distracting me too is the B. Technically in tune, but I want to hear that third actually in just intonation. And I've been desiring to hear that. So that's been distracting me a little bit. Okay, back to the practice. I'm going to begin at the first pair. Leading with a thumb. I'm being distracted again. So, welcome to my world. Sometimes this happens. Where distraction creates a disconnection from traction, from moving forward. So being mindful of that, but being in tune is important. So let's go again. Shoot. And what is up with this battery? All right, so I had a little bit of technical difficulties. I stopped the camera rustled about a bit, and now I'm back. So I'm going to go back into practice zone. Sometimes distractions happen. It's good though to make sure to finish your practice zone, session, complete it. So back to practice. Be honest with myself and go back to the first series. I'm also trying not to express frustration reaction, but sometimes it happens. I'll tell you what was going on there. I was getting further along than I have so far, and I noticed that thing. I spoke about it, I believe it was the last video, where sometimes it's like you're on a tightrope, and when you start moving further, at least my experience of it, there can be almost a little bit of extra excitement. Ooh, I'm getting it. But that I'm getting it oftentimes will, at least from my experience, knock me off of that tightrope, that attention tightrope. So what do we do? For me, it's really important when I notice that I take a breath through it and I just try to even the experience out. So I'm staying with what I'm doing. So that worked. I moved forward, and then it's the inner teacher in me. As I am practicing, I'm thinking about insights to share as I'm practicing, and that generally distracts me at times. So it's a good problem to have, getting insights, but just noticing that, wow, okay, that takes me off of the moment, and then there's a mistake. So when we make a mistake, when we get off course, we simply begin again. Leading with the thumb. simply begin again. In that moment, I can tell you what was going on with my mind. I was beginning to try to think about the next pattern, probably a little too soon. And that was confusing my mind about the current pattern. And when I lost the pattern here, my fingers lost the pattern. So, but I was feeling really good up until that point. We'll begin again, leading with the thumb. Oh, and I will say this. The one thing that I'm feeling good about is that mistake that I kept on happening earlier on in the video, where when I switched to my first finger, I went into a 3-finger pattern rather than 4-finger. I've been able to smooth that out. So whatever disorganization was happening, I've begun to organize that, and that's feeling reliable at this point. So that feels good. That feels like an improvement today. Sometimes in a practice session, we notice an improvement. Sometimes we don't. So right now, I know that I have not made one full cycle with the level of precision that I would like. So maybe this is the time to do it. It looks like about 5 minutes left in this practice session. And if you were watching this, then you probably saw what was going on, a little scrunch face. I felt myself getting off. I was getting distracted by thoughts. And I can't say that I'm not a touch frustrated, or I'm noticing some frustration. That's a better way to say it. So what happens? Let's begin again. happened again. Same spot. I know what's happening in that place. It gets to this pattern. Second finger, third finger, first finger, second finger, third finger. Wait, first finger, third finger, thumb, second finger. This pattern demands a little bit more of my attention. I know that, but because I know that, I end up having the tiniest little bit of internal doubt in that moment, or maybe even worry. It's kind of a big word for this moment because I don't feel unsafe, but there's some doubt. There's something that's coming in that knows that's a challenging place, knows my mind has trouble with that pattern or reversing that pattern. And it's the extra little bit of doubt and other awareness that I notice is actually taking me off the mark in that point. So it's about 30 minutes of practice. I don't feel like I got to where I wanted to get to, and that's okay. So I'm going to most likely keep on practicing, although I have a ton of other things I need to do today. So we'll see, maybe I'll revisit it in the evening. Just a couple things, the observations while I was practicing. The power of distraction. After 35 years, it doesn't cease to amaze me how easy my mind, at the very least, gets off track, thinks about other things, and it is a challenge. The power of this practice, that was another observation. The power of permutations, the power of working with odd groupings, a 3-cycle, triplets, but over a space of 4. All of this stuff keeps us away from relying on a habit and necessitates presence and actuality. So I was definitely at times brought back to my guitar circle experiences where this type of thing, if not this thing in particular, this pattern was a pattern that we worked with, although with cross picking rather than finger picking, because guitar circle and guitar craft is based on pick movement. So, but the permutations of 4, which is what this is, the 24 permutations of 4, was definitely a big part of it, not just in the right hand with picking, but also in the left hand with chromatic movements. So yeah, I was just brought back to some experiences, some memories, some reflections on that, which are beautiful to have, but I did notice they were taking me away from the moment. And one other observation I had, there was one moment where I noticed a real deep internal alignment happen. And it reminded me of some experiences I've had when I did my Vipassana course, where I noticed my attention physically was kind of like this, down and in my body. And then there's a moment today where it became aligned and more up here, that this part felt with an equilibrium, this area internally. And I noticed that I felt a lot more centered inside and able to hold a steadiness by becoming aware of this area balanced. So that was some observations I had. I'm enjoying making these videos and practicing and sharing this practice. So I hope it's helpful for you. I hope this inspires you to practice. I hope it gives you some pathways to practice. And if you're like this video, then go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel. All of that helps a lot. Please share. I'm going to be providing a lot more content than just practicing specifically, but I'm finding, at least for my own behalf right now, this is actually really beneficial to get me back aligned with a daily practice. So thank you so much. I appreciate your attention and time. And once again, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you.